Up next, we have the Reverend Yashpal Jayne. Yashpal has always been an eclectic, alternative doc. After practicing neuropathic medicine for over 20 years, he is now licensed as a doctor of pastoral science and medicine. Yashpal is the founding bishop of the Essene Order of Natural Mystics and currently establishing its mission, the International Alliance of Natural Mystics, based in Costa Rica and Ashland. He is the medical director of the Entheogenic and Natural Health Center in Costa Rica. Yashpal organizes natural mystic tours all over the world. Please, a warm welcome for Mr. Yashpal Jayne.
Is that better? Yeah, okay. I have an entheogenic center down in Costa Rica, on the Central Pacific Coast, down in Costa Rica. All plants are legal. And then I have a church, the Essene Order of Natural Mystics, and now we're forming a religious association, the International Alliance of Natural Mystics, which you see this banner there in the vending room there. In this talk, I want to do a very brief overview of how I work with a lot of these different medicines, both in teaching people in my daily life and then also with clients. But I'm going to do that super quick. I've done that talk a bit before, and I'm going to go kind of quickly, but through a wide range of medicines. How many people here have worked with more indigenous style medicines as opposed to just, recreational psychonauts? Okay, that's good. And how many people here would consider themselves like religious use of entheogens? Does anybody not know what the term entheogen means?
What does religious mean?
Well, in a lot of countries, religious use means freedom. Because we have freedom of religion. Okay, and that's the whole point. Now we can, you can't really see this here, but it's on the banner out there, and in my church, the Essene Order of Natural Mystics, and so a whole idea of what a religion is that it guides your life. Okay, so if you're just doing LSD at a party, it may or may not guide your life, okay? But if you do things with intention, even if you're at a festival and you do a little prayer and you do an intention or however you do it, but the main thing is that the integration and learning, guiding your life, and how that makes it religion, okay? The main thing is if you listen to these plants, if you listen to these medicines, instead of just doing them for fun. It's totally great to do it for fun too, don't get me wrong. So basically I did 4 vision quests down in Colombia. On the 4th vision quest, I had all these conflicts with the leader at that time because I wanted paperwork to be able to carry my feathers and to carry my sacraments, and because I didn't do sweat lodge and didn't want to be obligated to do a sweat lodge because somebody gave me some tobacco because I was a busy doctor. I said, hey, look, I'm a medicine man. I've been a doctor for 30 years, I just want the paperwork to carry my feathers. And he denied it and stuff. And then I was up on the mountain, and that vision quest, it's 13 days, the 4th one. And the first 4 days is no food and water. And then on day 5, they bring you 1.5 liters of either peyote or San Pedro tea. And then they leave, and you do a prayer. And then they're gone, and then on day 8, they bring you some food and water, fruit and water, and then day 11, you get the 4 fruits of the earth and all that. But the main thing is I got taken up in a golden light from day 7 to 9, and this document came down, which was basically the guiding document for the church. In that guiding document, so I'm in Essene, which is the, pre-Christian, I guess you could say, in a way. But if you've heard of the Essene communions, the Dead Sea Scrolls, all that type of stuff. But I'm basically, nature is our religion, and we follow, for me, it's one creator and the Trinity of creation, and then we walk our lives and we get encouraged and corrected, and, we just keep walking through life and take one step at a time and go through it. But the main thing that came down on that mountain is that the laws of God supersede the laws of humanity. Okay? And then the second tenet is direct communication with the divine with or without the use of sacraments. And then the third is our bodies are temple and our laboratory. And what we choose to do with our bodies is between us and the Creator. Now, in some way, what I'm doing now with the International Alliance of Natural Mystics, do you believe those three tenets, you can claim yourself as a natural mystic. And those of us that are here, I don't know about you guys and the ones we've been waiting for and all of that, but I feel a lot of big prophecies happening right now, and I feel we're at the total center of good, bad, right, wrong, Democrat, Republican, whatever it is, Iran, America, and in our own selves. And with this whole eclipse that just happened, I know many people are feeling that. And the main thing is it's time to stop having doubt and fear. So I've had doubt and fear ever since I've had that vision. That vision came in 2009. And then in December of 2017, I got a very big vision, which is what this is going to culminate with, which I'm now on the July 25th at the top of Teotihuacan, right before the World Bufo Conference. I'm going there, and we're going to press release that we're reclaiming our rights. And I have the whole petition there, and then now I'm going to put it into online format so we can all sign it. The main thing is so we're going to take it to the DEA, which is how the petition is written right now, and then we're going to take it to the UN Office of Drugs and Crime, and then if that goes okay, then I want to get opinions from all of the supreme courts of any nation. But the main thing is we have been mystics for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, being reborn and working with these medicines and learning about them and all of that. And I got that all pretty detailed in the whole petition thing. And then just because 50 years ago, or almost 60 years ago now, 50 years ago, people were a little irresponsible when we discovered about LSD, and a lot of people got scared, and the generation before that ended up decided to make these laws, and all of a sudden the war of drugs was founded, and then all of a sudden the U.S. made every other country follow the drug scheduling, and all of a sudden we aren't allowed to be mystics anymore. And Martin Ball wrote a good thing. I went to the UN in 2016 that we should have a universal right of direct experience. We're allowed to believe that ayahuasca is good for us, but we can't actually eat it, as a sacrament. And then the ones that have won, it's one sacrament. So our one sacrament is the earth, and each of these medicines become important at different times in our lives. So I'm going to see if we can get this. And so, to me, like everyone's like, oh man, you got to keep it underground. I'm in basically the central of Americas. In the mountains that go north become the Rockies, and the mountains that go south become the Andes, and we're right in the center of the central zone. And this is the first temple at Wellsprings in Ashland. That plaque we just put up the other day. But basically, those of you can have your own religion, okay? The main thing is if you do it as a 508c1a, then you have complete separation of church and state. If you do a 501c3, then you always have to file and stuff. I don't have to file anything. Here we go. Okay, so this is my center down there. So, I have signs all over Costa Rica, and I'll show you the sign that's on the actual thing. But the main thing is you'll see there health consultations, massage, combo, Aya, Yopo, Iboga, deep meditative therapies, that's 5-MeO DMT, Bufo, NN-DMT, all of that, other entheogenic ceremonies. We do all these things, okay? So there's that. I wanted to share with you that, I had some legal issues, and I represented myself dressed like this for three felonies. And during the whole process, I joined the Pastoral Medical Association. And if any of you guys don't know about that, basically, I'll read the... anyway, the point is, it's what we need to be, or what I'm saying that I'm championing, is the International Alliance of Natural Mystics, is that we're be a self-regulating religious organization. Okay, so that means that, you know, Joe Blow judge and MD that has never touched these medicines, say 5-MeO, has never even, you know, maybe saw some YouTube videos or anything, but they don't know it. How can they regulate it? And so we have to regulate it ourselves. And so we'll have, you know, in the Pastoral Medical Association, they've won the Supreme Court in 6 states for doing medicine. They're Southern Baptists out of Texas, but I was the first doctor while I was in the middle of my court cases and everything that they made, and now they do doctors and they do diplomats. And the main thing is that's a model that we're using, because if we're self-regulating, then and we're all members working on members and all of that. But this is all just background. And then here, so this is the sign on the paved road when you come out of the 7 kilometers, and then 16 kilometers to the right is the city, and 16 kilometers there, and straight in front of you it says the International Alliance of Natural Mystics, right in the center of the Americas, the Essene Order, an entheogenic free church, like an evangelical free church. So that's what the 508c1a is. So it's an entheogenic free church. Okay. And then on my house, this is right on the paved road, everybody goes by it, my house, Entheogenic and Natural Health Center Therapy House and Natural Mystic Tours. And then I also have a van that's going to be in here. So just an overview of medicines. Sananga, I have it here. Sananga is eye drops. There's some ibogaine in it. It burns quite a bit. It brings insight, both internal insight and external sight. Helps with a lot of eye issues and stuff. The whole treatment is 30 days in a row. It's difficult. I haven't done more than like 6 days in a row, but if you're dedicated, you can do it. It's a great medicine. I'm really going to go through these quickly, but doing that 30 days in a row is excellent. There it is, a little bit of information about it. Because I want to get into the whole mission in some way. Then rapé. So hape or rapé. We also have many types out there, but the main thing is it's tobacco and ash that are all made by different tribes that gets blown up your nose. And it can be, you know, small bits that you do throughout the day, or you can do full-on, I think there's a picture here, full-on. This is Carlos. So that's my rapé, and he'll do 15 to 20-minute sessions where, you know, your whole body's vibrating and you're vomiting and visions are coming, and that's all just from rapé. But rapé with some indigenous teachings and things behind it. But the main thing is rapé brings you to focus, stops the chatter in your brain, and lets you move into the next part of your day. So the way I recommend doing it and the way I do it is, you know, like as soon as I came up here and drove all night and everything, we had to set up the booth. Before I ate, I did rapé, so I could stop all that drive and focus on setting up the booth. And since I'm a doctor and I'm a dad and I'm a you know, crazy guy that travels all over the place and flies and everything, rapé is a very good tool for me. And then all the nuances of all the different types, that's as you learn and learn and learn. Okay? So then, and we just say profound. Then you have mambe. Okay, mambe or coca tea. So you can do coca tea in there. You can also do, and so far all of these are legal, the ones that I've said so far. Okay. Apparently in Canada, if we get to it, I'll tell a kind of funny story, but it's probably better not to be on video for that story. But so coca powder, mambe has ash in it. It's an activator. You can make tobacco paste, which is ambil, which can make it all last. You can just take a little lick of tobacco paste, and it'll make the mambe last longer and longer. Some people, like there's, you know, the whole 5-MeO toad thing, but I totally disagree with it. But with coca, it's very different than the refined, you know, pure cocaine, right? Because there's so many nutrients. There's so many nutrients in in Mambay and in coca tea in the leaves, and they get taken out with the cocaine. Somebody was trying to tell me that between Bufo and 5-MeO, but that'll be another discussion in a second. You guys ever heard of psilocybe mushrooms? You ever heard of doing 50 grams? Get that seatbelt on. Anyway, I think we've said a lot about psilocybe. I use a lot with microdosing with my clients. What I do is I start with 0.25, and I have them do it on a day off, and you check how good you are. You want to be able to also drive, right? You got to be able to drive if you're going to live your life in microdosing world. So you need to check it out when you don't go into work and have to drive. But you can usually take care of your kids and go out in the woods and hike and work in the garden with a little bit more. But for true microdosing, however you do it, I've heard some people talk about different things. I work one-on-one with each individual client to try to figure out, how that all works the best. San Pedro. San Pedro is one of my favorite. So we have San Pedro and you have peyote that are both mescaline. San Pedro. So peyote, number one, you got the Native American Church, which is all great. And those of you that have, I say it here now, but the Flaming Eagle Onak Church with all the cards and everything, it's all based on Native American Church. That's 1918. It was peyote only. There's no way that'll ever win for ayahuasca and everything else because there's paperwork there. So we either need to not ever have any paperwork, which is what separation of church and state is, or you just have to follow the paperwork. So our paperwork is that all the medicines are essential and all the medicines are here, and it's our earth and it's our bodies that we're working with and taking care of. So peyote. I prefer peyote. I love peyote ceremonies, don't get me wrong. But there's a Peyote Way Church of God down in Arizona, and when I did that, it's 3 days. You have your little fire. It's like all these little mountains on their land. You have your little fire. You spend 24 hours praying with your fire. They come and give you unlimited peyote. You eat as much peyote as you feel like for 24 hours, and then they take it away, and you got another 24 hours, and it's called a spirit walk. And it's a lot different than being in a Native American ceremony where you can't walk this way and can't walk that way, and you're on your knees the whole time, and you're crowded, and this, and you really need to pee, but they won't let you outside, and so all of that. San Pedro, so you got the humble peyote. San Pedro in the Andes grows really tall and fairly quick, but it's the same constituents. So we have the spirits of these things. So I call it grandpa and great uncle. Okay, and the great uncle is someone you can hang out with and learn. But the main thing is to me, San Pedro is exalting. They're both empathogens. They're both phenylethylamines. But peyote is like, oh man, I'm so glad you invited me in. It's really humble. Whereas San Pedro to me is more like, okay, Creator, what is it you want me to do? I'm ready. I'm standing up. My heart's open. Let's do this. And it's really good for festivals. You can still dance on it. You can still do all these things if you do smaller doses, and it's heart opening. And I love MDMA at times, but my nervous system doesn't want to do that much MDMA. But San Pedro is very nourishing to your whole system, and it's probably one of my favorite medicines. And then so there's peyote there, and so microdosing San Pedro I also find very, very useful for people, clients, and myself. LSD, probably you guys have done a lot. That's me. I've had this beard for a while. I've had a long. People are like, "Why you should cut it?" So I haven't cut it much. Every now and then, every 5 years or so, I get depressed or get some message and cut it off. But it's been like this since I was 22. Anyway, so that's Sasha. He's such a. I like. I don't do much of the alphabet soup, but there's still really, really good research chemicals that are very useful and very nice, and I honor Sasha and all that he's taught me throughout the years. So, ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is not a personal sacrament, okay? Ayahuasca, sure, I can serve you ayahuasca, but you get ayahuasca from a fourth generation medicine man that is teaching a 12,000-year tradition. It's going to be different. I guarantee it, okay? I bring people down to Colombia and down to Peru, and, we work with these major taitas. So, this is Taita Jose Antonio that I've been bringing since 2011 to Costa Rica. Unfortunately, none of them can come to the States. Even worse now. But Colombia is beautiful. Colombia is not all cocaine, Noriega, whatever, all that stuff. But you meet the Colombian hippies, and they're just like, yeah, my dad works in the States, but I can't even visit him, Why do you guys hate us so much? And it's like, anyway, Colombia is amazing. And so all that beadwork there, that's actually his family that does all this. And from that, so with ayahuasca, those of you that haven't, at some point she'll call you, and it's good. We have a good thing down in Southern Oregon where, we have medicine almost every week that is available. I'm not saying I do it every week, but there's options all the time. And so this is the taitas. You'll see that there's Taita Jose Antonio. You can't really see too much, but there's Taita Jose Antonio, and then there's me. But the guy in the middle is Taita Domingo. So Taita Domingo, he has a temple that's now consecrated for the Essene Order of Natural Mystics and the International Alliance of Natural Mystics. I went to Tikal do you ever hear of the Mayan Heart Festival? So Mayan Heart Festival, the Mayan elders there, they decided that it was the 5,000-year anniversary of Tikal, and they invited medicine people from every continent and I can't remember his name right now, but the guy that did the Mayan Heart Festival decided to get behind it. It was a trip, getting a festival with Desert Dwellers was playing to 12 people. But that's just because it's a lot to get a festival in the middle of nowhere where Tikal is. And he did it, and I totally helped support that. But the main thing is they invited medicine people from all nations, and we put a Mayan prayer in there declaring sovereignty from all nations. Sovereignty from all nations. And when I went there, I told them my vision, and 2 of the 3, because the night before I said, hey, it wasn't me that thought it up, but hey, my whole life is the same thing. And so I told her, and they were looking at all the Mayan calendar stuff and at my stuff, and they said, yeah, now's the time. And then 2 of the 3 shamans had dreams that the way it's going to work, it's going to start in Central America and then ripple out from there. Now, my goal is we're going to have, alliances all over the place and, all of that. And but right now we got Costa Rica, Guatemala, and Colombia that'll be all put in place by the winter here. But this guy, he doesn't read or write, but he speaks 3 languages, and it's all taught from Yahe or ayahuasca. His temple, so he's a visionary artist, and so all the artwork is there. His altar is 10 feet long with glass and all sacred geometry in there. Holds 200 people and overlooks the entire Putumayo Valley. And we went there because we cooked some medicine, and we wanted to go and have some ceremony in his temple. And we got there. There was only 7 of us, and we were like, man, you don't have to do this, for just 7 of us, And he goes, oh, no. This is me going to the bar, If there's someone here, at least I don't drink alone. He goes, if there's 7 of you, we'll do the ceremony. So anyway, that's his altar if you can see that. So anyway, I'm going to try to still go through this quick. That's them. So then Iboga. So I had my legal issues with Iboga. Iboga, I know you just had a talk about it. I've been serving Iboga for a while. There's a difference in me serving it more medical style and then the people that have been fully initiated and things like that. So I still work with addicts. A lot of the people that I know won't. I mean, I've been kidnapped. I mean, there's lots of things that happen with Iboga, especially when you're working with addicts. The main thing is they need to want to be clean, not doing it for anybody else. Combo. A lot of you have probably heard of combo. Please remember to not call these things poisons and toxins and venoms and all that type of stuff. They're medicines. They're sacraments. And combo and bufo. So combo is the largest frog. Bufo is the largest toad. And I find that interesting that they both just want us to be free. Okay, so the combo, all it does is sings to the rain. Nothing will eat it. Every now and then a human grabs it, stretches it out, gives it a massage, and gets this nice medicine for us to really help change. So as you don't know, it's over 200 bioactive peptides in it. You burn it into I think I have a picture here. So yeah, you burn the skin, and then you put the combo on there, and you drink a bunch of water beforehand, and over the next 5 to 20, 30 minutes, you'll feel really bad, and then you'll vomit all the water, and you're looking for a good, nice yellow purge, but those peptides, it goes through your lymph system, takes out heavy metals, bacteria, viruses, all of that, and then comes up through your liver and then out. And you want to try to do 3 of them within a moon cycle, so within 28 days. That's called a jungle inoculation. They use it both for preventative for dengue and malaria and all of that, and then they also use it, just in the morning before they go hunting to remove the smell so they can be more successful for their families. But the main thing is it just sings to the rain. This is my house in Costa Rica, doing combo here. Yeah, there's a lot of good, all autoimmune issues, and it works really well. I mean, it depends on how far your Lyme's is, how long, this, that. Cancer I've had issues with, but yeah, the main thing is I'm just doing an overview of all of these so you know what they are, and I can help you, or you can look online and find out more information and all of that. We do all of these in Costa Rica and most here, but I know people all over Central and South America that work with all these things, and also up here in the States. So everybody know what that is? 5-MeO-DMT. So up here, like I said, I'm pretty honest about everything, but it's the amphibians that I work with up here on a fairly regular basis. And so there's all this stuff out there from the IAKP. I'm about to go to the Bufo conference, and I've been serving both of these, interchangeably. I don't mean interchangeably, but I do amphibian weeks to where I do combo 3 times and Bufo 2 times, and I advertise it, go to, because I can advertise in Guatemala and Costa Rica and all this stuff. And then on Facebook, I'll get like 25 to 50 people, condemning me for doing these 2. I said, look, well, show me the science, okay? And I'm a doctor, and I look at it, and I can't figure out why they would be incompatible other than an activation, a reactivation with the 5. But the main thing is there's a lot of us that do this, and IAKP is out there telling people you have to wait 4 to 6 weeks after Bufo to get combo, and it's just not right. And nobody's, it's not like people are dying or anything like that. It seems to be an inconvenience that if you have a 5-MeO reactivation during your combo, which all of my clients are praying for, because I always tell them about the controversy, but it's like, oh, we want a 5-MeO reactivation while you're in misery in the combo. And but I finally got an answer with the IAKP. They basically say that you might have rented a place, you might have somewhere to go, I don't know. Medicine people, we don't always start on time, and we rarely end on time, just for clarity. So that's Bufo. I label it as natural raw glitter for the borders. And this is Yopo. Now, if we can get this man up here, I'd be really looking forward to it. But this man, he takes care of my office when I'm gone. We brought him up from Venezuela, and had his family there now and everything. And so Pablo's the one that's doing all the translations for the things. He's going to be the one that he and I, after the Bufo conference, I fly to Costa Rica, and then he and I are just going to disseminate globally in both languages this petition to reclaim our rights, basically. But Pablo's an amazing, amazing man, but he can't, he's Venezuelan, and they can't even print another passport. He now is a resident of Costa Rica, but he can't leave Costa Rica for 5 years, and he can't come to the States, and he can't go to Panama, and it's just crazy. So, Yopo is a all-night 5-MeO. I know this isn't Martin's, and thank you for Martin for getting this all started and how this all happened. But the Ashland conferences have been a lot of 5-MeO people, and so this is all night. So you chew ayahuasca vine. It's a special preparation of copy vine. You chew that for about 4 hours. You can smoke pot. You're just relaxing. He's explaining everything, and then you go and I was searching for this one picture I have, but it's a two-pronged, one prong, and people are like, Yopo, hurts so much, and there's all different ways, but you just sniff it up like you were vacuuming up the Yopo off a plate, and you have about 5 minutes to get to your chair, and then you want to hold on to your body and your it's hard to do all these things with the but anyway, so your eyes are closed and you're holding yourself onto the chair basically, or you're holding firm, and then all this NN-DMT visuals while you're going through all this emotional stuff happens for about 10 to 15 minutes. Your eyes are still closed, then all of a sudden you'll start vomiting, and your eyes are closed. Oh, there's a bucket underneath you, so your eyes are closed, you're down here, a bucket's underneath you, and then it'll be more like a bubbling up, so it's like except you're down like this, and then once that's done, then comes the 5, and he does up to 15 people at a time, and I'd say at least 5 people fall off the chairs or bouncing around the room, and all that, and it takes about an hour. Yes, okay. I think that's the last one. Okay, so I wanted to tell you, so on reclaiming our rights, so you can make your own individual declaration, okay? And, the main thing is that there's a ritual. So I just bless the Trinity. Wherever I am, if I do something, I bless the Trinity. That way, if there's any witness, you have that. I'm got these and these, with the and so we're creating a path to the UN, blah, blah, blah. So that's the main thing there. That was Martin's Universal Declaration. Those are what I already told you. I think that's the main thing, and I know we need to go, and I want to tell you about the petition. We were almost done. So, however I get to... it must be in here. Yeah, here it is. So, with the... now, this is Southern Baptists in Texas that put together the Pastoral Medical Association, okay? And this is their constitution, which is on my doctor's license, okay? Establishing a private ecclesiastical association to go forth sharing scriptural wisdom for health. We call this form, blah, blah, blah. But the main thing is a sincerely held religious belief and conviction that God created the heavens and the earth. He, she is the first, the sovereign, the supreme, right? 2, endowed humankind with wisdom through his word, blah, blah, blah. So I asked them about urine therapy, and they said, well, I've never heard of urine therapy. So it's in the Vedas. And they said, oh, if it's in the Vedas, then it's okay. So I thought that was really good for a Southern Baptist group. And then God bestowed all things natural, but the main thing is he's placed his mark on us that we go and be workers, and we bear that responsibility to go forth in service to aid and assist all creatures, human or animal, and with what the Creator has entrusted us, not what some university did. And then called many workers from many faiths and many beliefs with one common goal. And we don't judge one religious belief against another, nor healer against healer. We're one assembly of healers with one mission, and we hold these as convictions. And so with that, and I highly, put your email on there. I'm going to send you the whole petition. I got to cut it down to be, quickly and signed and all of that. But the main thing is there's going to be one just for U.S. citizens and one for global. And then I finally found a way, to market. But basically, if we get 150,000 signatures within 30 days, then they're required to respond. So the DA is required to respond. And so the whole thing is that there's a need to be another category. This all got lumped in there just because it has visions, and they call them hallucinogens, right? They're not hallucinogens. They're not narcotics. They're not amphetamines. They all have parts of that, or many of them have those characteristics, but that's not why we are consuming them, okay? And then the other thing is, you didn't spend, we've been doing this for thousands of years, you didn't spend millions and millions of dollars to prove to us that they were bad. How come after 5,000 years of walking this planet, the last 50, we're not allowed to? So the request, which I didn't actually put in here, but the request is we're asking for us to be able to carry our medicines, carry our sacraments, travel freely, and trade our goods and services. And I'm asking for all nations to basically, we'll have cards and all that. It's like, if you're a member of the, you're a member of the International Alliance of Natural Mystic. Okay, well, go right there, And the last thing is in Canada, I had my natural raw glitter, and I had some incense, right? That I told him that, but everything else I was true. And then when you check out the pipes for the Butho and the 5-MeO, I said, well, this should be interesting, But I told him everything. Told him exactly, honestly, what it was. And then it came to the Mambe, $20 Mambe. And then I said, well, coca tea, because I said 5-MeO, it's actually, I flew from Costa Rica to Canada, and then I was going to drive into the States, but I flew into Canada, and they basically hassled me because I was wearing shorts, and it was 20 degrees below, and I didn't know I had 8 hours in Montreal before I got to BC. But anyway, the main thing is then he, after all of that other stuff, râpé, he goes like, what this? I explained râpé. I got like 8 containers of râpé, and he's like, wow, I said, yeah, I actually have it in my purse, and I have it in that bag, and I have it in that bag, and I have it in that bag. And so that's how it went. And when it went to the Mambe, I said, it's legal. Cocoa powder and Mambe are actually legal. It's just when it gets refined. And he goes, not in Canada. In Canada, all forms of coca are illegal, so I really should take that away from you. And then it's like, there was lots of other things before that. And then he goes, but you know what? I just don't want to do the paperwork. And so the main thing is we got to stop being in doubt and fear, and we got to stop friggin' hiding, and we have to just learn and do it right and do it responsibly and do it educating and do it teaching. This isn't, backyard lab hide from everybody style anymore. It's time to step up and announce ourselves. And don't announce yourself unless you know, but at least announce that you want to know. Point is we got to stop hiding. We got to stop being in doubt and fear. The only way we're going to do this is how to do this, right? Thank you.